Hello, and welcome to Always with Awareness. I'm Awa and Doug.
And I'm Douglas Lodmell. And today it is Ramadan. We're right in the middle of it, so we're going to do Ramadan again. In fact, we've decided every year we're going to do Ramadan because every year the experience is changing for us. So we did do a show on Ramadan last year. And for everyone, what is Ramadan? So Ramadan is a month in Islam, in the Islamic faith, where you fast. And fasting comes from first light, which is dawn, to sunset. So right now that's about 5:27 in the morning.
That's right.
To 6:36 at night. So it's about 13 hours. And then most people don't actually get up early to eat. So you really are fasting from the night before to the next evening for most of the time. But you can wake up very early if you want and have your coffee and eat and do whatever you need to do, which we did this morning actually.
Yeah,
which was really nice.
Yeah. It was nice.
Most mornings we don't. Most mornings we actually just sleep through it, and then we're really fasting for almost 20 hours or something.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about it again because it's changed.
Definitely for me something changed this
Okay,
year.
so let's hear it. What changed for you?
Well, you've changed this year.
Oh, okay.
This year I get to do Ramadan with my husband. And that is an amazing feeling. Less work, for sure.
Easier to do it together.
Easier to do together. Mm-hmm. I don't have to worry about you. And I feel a tremendous support. I am so proud of you that you embracing it, you learning, reading about it. And that is new. That is totally new.
Yeah, so I guess we'll give some context.
Tell us why you do it. How about that?
Well, so for the first, 14 or so years of our marriage, you didn't fast either.
No.
And you had never fasted. No. So when you grew up, fasting was happening, but you weren't doing it.
I had all the excuses not to do it.
You had all the excuses. I'm hypoglycemic. I can't go that long. And then, 6 or 7 years ago, you said,
I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I'm just going to do it and we'll see.
Yeah.
And you had an amazing year.
That's right.
And I watched you.
Yeah.
And I think I fasted one day.
Yeah.
And then you kept doing it every year, and I would fast 1 or 2 days just kind of in solidarity with you. And then last year the first week went and I was not fasting. And then you said, why aren't you fasting? Like, why won't you fast? And I said, okay, I can do it. And like most decisions in life, it was impulsive, right? It wasn't thought through.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it. I just said yes. And so I fasted 3 out of the 4 weeks, and it was great. It wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
And so this year, I actually said, okay, I'm doing the whole thing. So we started together.
That's right.
And the first day, and first day was tough. I was very dehydrated the first day.
Okay.
But then after that, it was really easy. Now we're about midway. Actually, we're almost exactly midway. And I can see now, like, it's getting a little harder again.
Oh, yeah?
The
Good.
fasting.
Ah.
Well, because I think now I've had 2 weeks to burn the easy fat, I think. like I've gone down 2 inches on my pants.
Okay.
I actually had some smaller jeans, I think from last year.
Okay.
I had bought, and now I'm back into those like almost immediately. And I think now the body's kind of going, okay, all right, we did it. Like, let's eat. Let's start eating.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't say it's very difficult.
No.
It's just more noticeable now than it was for the first 2 weeks.
What else have you noticed?
I will say that my energy is just cleaner. My face, I feel like it's just
Your skin?
skin cleaner, just more brilliant, more glowing, just more energy. Surprisingly, I have to say, before Ramadan this year, I was napping most afternoons that I was available to nap when I didn't have calls or work. I was just exhausted, tired. I don't think I've napped once. It's amazing to me how much energy we have. I mean, it's 5 o'clock. We're cutting in an hour and a half. We haven't eaten all day, and I have all the energy already. Still, I mean, it's amazing to me how much energy I have while not putting food in my body. And I think it's because I'm not putting food in my body. My body is more available to have the energy working for me instead of digesting food. Not to mention just the mental effort it takes to be constantly thinking about food.
Yes.
It's a ton of effort.
That's right.
I mean, a ton of bandwidth is taken up with what am I going to eat?
Yeah.
I'm hungry. And
so funny when you say that, because you wake up every morning and I just see you go, okay, I'm fasting. I feel like I don't have nothing else to do.
well, my coffee is such a ritual. I'm so used to having my coffee as a ritual. I usually don't eat breakfast. I usually just have coffee. But now without that at all, I feel like I have nothing to do in the morning. Like, okay, I guess I'll just take a shower.
It's so beautiful. You know, you said the word ritual, which as human beings, we do have a lot of rituals.
Yeah.
And it's almost like this month, this beautiful month, is coming to change and give you a shift away from the rituals.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny?
It is.
You know, we are so comfortable. Comfort is what we prioritize. We all want to
Amazing.
be comfortable with our food, comfortable with our thoughts, comfortable with our doings. Like, don't change anything. Sometimes to the point of even when it's not working, do not change it. Changing it seems scarier.
Change is uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable.
So don't change either.
Don't change, even in the worst. So it's so funny because we bringing back Ramadan. That's, if I never said it before, I'm saying it. That's my favorite month. It's just simply my favorite month. Why? Because I just realized what? It came to stop the ritual. The ritual of cooking, the ritual of thinking, the ritual of caring, thinking, all of it that makes you feel like you are the doer, that if you are not, nothing is. I feel personally that month of Ramadan is here to clean all of that up.
Well, and it's not that you're stopping ritual, you're changing ritual.
You're changing it.
So what we realized is that the ritual of dinner and food and constantly having that as our day is revolving around it. Where are we going to have lunch? What's for lunch? What's for breakfast? What's for dinner? Now the ritual has become cutting the fast, which is done the same way every day for us. We choose to do it with a date and tea.
Yes.
Right? So every day it's the same thing. It's a date and tea. And then some food, which surprisingly not very much food. My stomach certainly has
Stretched.
shrunk, I think,
shrunk.
because I can't eat very much.
Yeah.
It's one little plate of food, and I mean a little plate, not a regular plate, a small like side plate. That's about all the food I can eat. And then maybe later, actually, last night I ate on purpose again later, not because I was hungry, but because I thought I needed some calories. Like I need to add a little more food because I ate so little earlier.
I know.
I mean, I ate about 2 ounces of lamb. That was all I had.
Yeah.
It was just not much. Yeah. And so the other thing that's interesting to me is that the ritual of winding down the way I would normally wind down, however I would do that, TV or whatever ritual you have in your evening to wind down, because you're eating all day, food is just food.
Food, right?
Right?
Yeah.
And then your wind down has got to be something else.
Right, okay.
Now it's cutting the fast. The fast cut itself is the thing I'm looking forward to because you haven't eaten all day. So by 6:30 you are a little hungry.
Yes.
Like it's starting, I'm looking forward to that date in my mouth and then whatever we're going to eat.
Appreciating that food and being grateful that it's there. Your taste change for sure.
For sure.
So it's so funny. So what I hear you say is that if it's not Ramadan, food is just like you're shoving it in your mouth and then you're saying, what next?
Yeah,
And then
kind of.
because of Ramadan, now the what next become nourishment, that food.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing I'm looking forward to now is cutting the fast.
Nourishment.
Right. It's not filling my time with something else because dinner is just automatic. Now it's special again.
Oh,
Food
beautiful.
is special.
Yeah.
And again, the peace, and it's a dry fast, which means no water for the same period of time. And of course, your mind wants to say, oh my God, well, food, one thing, but water, you can't live without water. Well, you certainly can't live without water, but you can certainly live without water for 13 hours. You really can. 13 hours is not too much to not drink. And just the entire resting of the system, I notice it really
Oh my God.
changes. I mean, I'm so used to grabbing a big, giant 1.5 liter thing of water and putting it in my car and drinking it all day long. Now I leave the house and I don't bring my water, and it feels different.
But there is a shift there too, right?
It's a shift, yeah.
Like who said that we needed it? I was just listening to that actually last night.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need to be drinking that much water daily. And that is diluting our nutrients. And I was like, wow, your minerals. And I'm thinking, not wrong. Because during the Ramadan, we don't drink any water for 12 days. 12 hours. And
12 days, you probably
12
won't
days,
make
you
it.
might die. But 12 hours.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that much dehydration. You
No,
go
and,
all day.
And the days that I do feel a little more dehydrated, I make a point that in the evening to drink more.
Drink more.
To make sure. But every day, at least I get 1.5 liters in, because that's how big my bottle is. And I drink at least one of those every day when we cut.
Yeah.
I'll drink 1.5 liters, which they say you need half your body weight in ounces a day. So
Questionable. Because at the
I
same
don't know.
time, they're saying, eat your water.
Well, certainly that's, yeah. And this show is not about the health, and we're not experts on this, but it makes sense, right? So if you eat a lot of very watery foods, that's supposed to be better for you than purely just drinking water. I will say, just from my personal experience, when I drink just a lot of very plain water, I think it does feel a little stripped. I feel a little stripped of my nutrients.
Okay. Do you
know.
have symptoms? Because the symptoms actually is just almost like dehydration.
Almost like dehydration, like headache
headaches,
and I because I feel like I can't get enough.
Okay.
Like it just feels hollow. That's what
That's-
it feels like. It feels like hollow water. Like I'm just drinking and not getting anything from it. That's just my feeling. That's not scientific.
Well, and that's the symptoms that you have by depleting yourself from your minerals.
Yeah.
If you drink too much of water.
Right.
Too much water.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to Ramadan,
Yeah,
my favorite month.
it is.
We shared with you how it makes us feel, but definitely there is a spiritual component to it. A sense of connection that comes with less, doing less, eating less, being present in the body without dealing with it, just being present with it. It's a month where I personally, I'm very aware of my thoughts, my emotions, what needs to be cleaned up. It's a month that I love to be alone, really. It's a month where I pay attention to what I listen to, who I talk to, because what we want to get from this month is to be touched, moved, inspired by it being you, yourself, so that you can carry that outside of this month. It's a month for you.
Yeah.
That's what I get. It's a month for me. So that after this month, you will see how life starts to get back in, and you just go like, wow, here I am following, getting pulled, and then more and more, the more you are present this month, more and more out of this month, you're present within yourself.
I feel that
Yes.
very clearly.
Yeah.
And when you can stand for anything, it helps you stand for everything. So standing for not eating from first light to sunset, it's just something, right? It could be anything, but it's something that's very defined, that's a little bit difficult to do, definitely something your mind doesn't immediately want to do, and yet you're training yourself to stand and to be strong with that, which helps you stand and be strong with other things. So it's very spiritual practices have always focused on having these retreats, having these times where you go and you fast and you pray and you remove yourself from your normal daily routine and habits so that you can focus on something and then come back to it. But you come back to it a little different than you left it. And every year, having this opportunity to do it every year, which is why we decided, we did Ramadan and we thought, oh, well, that's it. That was the Ramadan show. Well, we've decided to do it every year now because we just want to track our own progress through it.
That's
Certainly for me, I mean, for someone who's been doing it since they were 12, they might not have as dramatic an experience every year. But for me, in my 50s, starting to fast a month a year, I'm going to notice it more.
That's right.
And you too, right?
Oh,
you didn't do
absolutely.
it as a child, so
Yeah.
so it's more noticeable to us how it's affecting us.
And the other thing is, most of you are not eating during the day. We're all running like chicken without our heads, snacking on almost nothing. Definitely, sometimes nothing with nutrition.
Good for you.
Yeah. So, but yet, I see it with my friends that run with it. They're like, but you know what? I think I can do it because I barely eat. Well, you don't know how strong your mind is or how you are the boss of your mind until you set an intention. I can tell you, I'm not somebody who barely eats. You don't, by the way. Lunch for you, out of the week, you have lunch maybe twice a week.
Yeah.
But yet, the minute you set the clock and say, that's it, I am fasting.
You want lunch every day.
You want lunch every day. You go to the supermarket. Don't go, by the way, if you're fasting. There is nothing your mind would want to buy and eat at the supermarket if they have to. But just to tell you who God, who create this month for us to show us our weaknesses, to show us our flaws that are hidden. This is the month to really face them. And those are basic things. Food and water and not gossiping, seeing beauty in everything, watching what you say out of your mouth, what you're listening to. What a gift. So for those of you who never fasted, I challenge you, for your own sake, for really getting back yourself on the saddle and holding the reins to fast. It is no joke. I think it's a gift to us humans. It is for sure my favorite month. And like I said, to do it with your partner is a blessing. I personally cannot talk about this month. I can talk about it forever. I mean, there's so many things that happen that I always share with Doug. It's just beautiful.
It is beautiful.
You know.
The other thing I notice is how much throughout the day I'm you realize how many little snacks or things. You go to Costco and the sample guy is there, and you're like, oh yeah, I'll have a sample of that. Or you walk by my son's junk drawer of chips and stuff, and you're like, oh, I'll have a bag of chips. There's so many things. I'm at Home Depot, I want a bag of peanuts. Like all these things that
Impulses.
Impulse eating.
Yes.
Impulse eating, that when you're fasting, the impulse still comes.
Yeah.
So I'm at Home Depot. There's still that bag of chips or that
Calling for you.
That I'm like, but then I'm like, oh, I'm fasting, and I pull back. Just that action of having the impulse and then pulling it back shows you how much impulse eating I was doing. Like a lot. Little stuff, but a lot of it. Like all day long, I'm in the kitchen. I'm like, oh, impulse eating. Oh, I'm gonna eat.
Wow.
It's happening all the time. So you think you don't eat a lot, because I don't eat a lot at mealtime, but I'm snacking all throughout the day, and definitely not always on the best stuff.
No.
Right? Definitely, there's just junk that gets into that, and that you realize, oh,
And you know what? Let's talk about this. Bad or good. Impulse, anything, is not okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, when you're impulsing, your awareness is very low, right? And so, for us, in our way of thinking, the more awareness you bring to anything, the better it is for you. More likely, it's going to serve you in your goals. So when you're not aware, you're less likely to be making the kind of decisions or choosing the kind of actions that are supporting you. So impulse equals not aware. Oh, just impulse. And we are, as humans, very driven by impulse. Very driven by impulse. Every car salesman know that's true, which is why they never want you to walk out of there, because they know everything is an impulse buy. You don't need a new car, you want a new car, right? And you want it right now, but you might not want it tomorrow. If you can hold off on that impulse, you might not want it at all. But they know that, which is why they want you to make a decision now. They want you to act on your impulse because it's in their interest. So Ramadan is just stopping your impulse around food for a period of time that's long enough for you to notice all the impulse, which is very informing to your state of mind, very informing to how I want to be in the rest of my life.
That's right. Yeah. So it is for sure the impulse dictator here.
Yeah, well,
it
your mind...
just bring it all on. And that's why people that actually don't want to do it, because somehow we all know how impulsive we are. So the people who are saying, oh, I can't do that, you saying, I can say no to my impulses.
I think that's right. I think you're saying, I don't want to have to say no.
No.
I want to be able to do what I want when I want.
Yeah, but
And
you're not doing what you want where you want it.
No.
It's your impulses doing it.
And that's showing up in every area of your life, by the way.
That's what it is.
Yeah, because you're also impulsive in everything else. And so, is that supporting you? Well, less awareness, less supportive. So probably not as much as it could. There's no right and wrong, but there are things that move you forward faster, move you back faster.
So again, this beautiful month of Ramadan, I don't think it's only for Muslims. Now,
Fasting is a thing. Intermittent fasting is a thing.
it's a thing.
This is, by the way, just intermittent fasting. So
That's right.
the Muslims have been doing it for 1,000 years. Everybody else is now going, oh, intermittent fasting, and they're coming up with all the science why it's so good for you. So I think it's probably good for you.
This one you just do with intention.
Yeah, there's intention.
And like anything, do with intention. And so many people at the same time supporting you around it. I think it just makes it deeper, stronger, and more meaningful.
For sure.
So
Yeah,
that was Ramadan.
that was Ramadan. That was fasting for Ramadan 2025. So
Inshallah, may we have 100 more
100 more.
to share with you.
Yeah, yeah. Welcome to give us comments, talk to us, chat. Please share this if it's interesting, and let us know what you think.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you next time.
See you.